Hello everybody, this is Cameron Rasmussen for GuitarControl.com. So, what I'd like to talk about today are different tools you can use to improvise over a blues, because it's so common. Now, as guitar players, you might know that if you're playing over a blues, you might get stuck in the minor pentatonic shape for your playing, and it might get boring because you're just playing one shape. So if we're playing a G blues, you might tend to play something like this. And then you might just get stuck in that shape and you're not able to move anywhere else. But that's what I'd like to talk about today, is breaking out of that shape using modes and other scales that will fit over a blues that you're playing. So, if you're not too familiar with your modes, you might want to brush up on those before we go any further, because that's what we're going to be using as the main tool for this lick I'm going to show you to use over a blues. Now, the reason that guitar players like to use the minor pentatonic so much and it works so well is because you're adding a sharp 9 on the 7th chord. So if we're in G7, in the chord we have a B natural, but you're actually adding a B flat, which is the sharp 9 on that G7 chord. And that's a nice tasty tension to add on a blues, and that's why it sounds so good. But we're going to get rid of that, and we're just going to use plain Mixolydian, which is G7's parent mode. Now when we do this and use G Mixolydian, now you can use all the other modes that are related to that, like A Aeolian, B Locrian, C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, and so on. Use all those modes and you can move to all those shapes, so you're no longer stuck in the root position with the minor pentatonic scale. So I'm going to show you this one lick that you can apply to all 3 chords in whatever blues you're playing. Now this lick I'm going to show you starts in the G Mixolydian shape and moves to the A Aeolian shape, but it's still in G Mixolydian because we resolve to the flat 7 of G. Now, this lick, you have to think that G is the 5 chord of C. That's where Mixolydian comes from, if you know your modes. So we're thinking of technically C is the 1 chord and G is the 5 chord. That's where all these other modes come from. So that's what enables you to move around to all these other patterns and improvise with them. And here's the lick again. Here's it a little bit slower. So, using the lick I just showed you in this G blues, when it moves to the 4 chord, the C7 chord, you can just transpose the same lick up a 4th, because now we're thinking technically in the key of F, because we're in C Mixolydian because of the C7th chord. So, other than this lick, you could use F Ionian shape, you could use the G Dorian shape, the A Phrygian shape, the B flat Lydian shape, and so on, and because you're thinking technically in F major, even though it's on a C7th chord. So here's that same lick transposed up a 4th to the C7th chord. Here's the lick again. And here's the lick a little bit slower. So guys, the same analysis that we just applied to both the 1 chord and the 4 chord applied to the 5 chord, the D7th chord in this blues. Now we're thinking in D Mixolydian or in G Ionian, so you can use all the modes from G Ionian, even though we're on a D Mixolydian D7 shape. So we're going to use the same original lick from G transposed up a 5th, and that will sound like this. Here it is again. And here it is a little bit slower. Alright guys, so I hope the licks I showed you today are useful to you when you're working on playing over a blues, because it's nice to break out of the minor pentatonic shape that guitar players so frequently get stuck in. So, please click the link in the video description if you'd like to see the tab for the licks I showed you today, and I'll see you next time.